Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and what do Wanda and Daredevil have in common? They both wear red and lack vision. It's an oldie but a goodie, and as chosen by you guys on Twitter, the first topic we're going to be tackling this week from Comic-Con is Daredevil Born Again. It's my most anticipated project from Phase 5, and I can't wait to see some cocks on screen like it's Friday night on Channel 5. Wait, delete that! Anyway, throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down everything we know about it so far, the cast, and new costume that the character has. If you enjoy the video, then please hit the thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe for breakdowns like this every day. Without the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Daredevil Born Again. Okay, so during Marvel's Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con, they unveiled a lot of their upcoming movies and shows for both Phase 5 and 6. Daredevil Born Again was dropped into the lineup, and because of this, we know a rough release date for it. The show will be premiering on Disney Plus in spring 2024, and it'll be a mammoth kingpin of a season. Clocking in at 18 episodes, this will be 3 times, is that right? 6, 12, yeah. 3 times longer than the usual Disney Plus show. The typical season on Netflix for the series was 13 episodes, so this is going to be even longer than that. Now that doesn't mean it'll actually be longer though, as Netflix entries all clocked in at an hour each, and Disney tend to do varying lengths with their longer seasons normally having shorter episodes. For example, your Hawkeyes, your Ms. Marvels, they were roughly about 50 minutes long, whereas a lot of WandaVision was about 20 to 30 minutes. So runtimes can vary depending on a series length, and with this being 18 episodes, I can imagine that they might be shorter ones that don't clock in at an hour. Disney will be dropping the series weekly, and Kevin Spoilers is about to be busy for the next year, so kids, you're going off to boarding school.
See you, chump.
Now, as much as I hate doing a lot of episodes at once, with this being 18, I kinda hope that Disney change up their format a bit and do something similar to Amazon. Prime Video tend to drop the first 3 episodes of a season, and then they follow this with weekly releases. I think that would work really well in this instance, and that would give us a big binge from the off, and then get us hooked on the weekly releases. Now, both Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are returning to their respective roles. Cox is due to appear in She-Hulk, with D'Onofrio once more returning as the Kingpin in Echo. So spoiler alert, he survives that show too. Now at the end of Hawkeye, he ended up getting shot by Echo, but if you're aware of the comics, you'll know that something similar happened in them. In those, Kingpin ended up getting shot too, but he went blind instead of dying. I think they'll bring him back in this way so that you have him facing off against a deaf Echo in her show, before going against a blind Daredevil in his. It's sort of like poetry, they rhyme, and Vincent D'Onofrio reacted to the announcement the other day by simply stating, "When I was a boy." So yeah, can you be more specific, mate? Sorry for asking, I won't bother you again. Anyway, the title Born Again brings a lot with it, and for the next part of the video, I want to go over that in the costume. Now if you've read the book by Frank Miller, then you'll know that Season 3 of Daredevil actually took a lot of elements from it, so it's going to be interesting to see if they revisit that or make this its own thing. We're still unsure if it's all connected to what's come before, but I can imagine that this will be somewhat of a soft reboot, with some returning characters, but they might reduce some plot lines. We also don't know if the Daredevilverse characters will be returning, but knowing Disney, they're probably getting the Punisher across, turning him into a guy that makes balloon animals at kids' parties, and calling him the Funisher, you son of a bitch. Now I know that Disney have a reputation, but I really hope that they take the mature route with it, get rid of the Hawaiian hats, and at least make these as gritty as the Netflix series. If they don't do that, it's going to get a lot of negative comparisons, but with Marvel Zombies being TVMA, I do have hope that they realise they can at least start going into adult territories. Deadpool 3 has also been said to be rated R, and for a property like Born Again, they're gonna need to go in that direction. Now in the comics, we see that Karen Page is a drug addict, and in order to get a fix, she ends up revealing that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. So yeah, already off to a bad start, and this info gets passed to the Kingpin, who systemically destroys Matt Murdock's life. He ruins his career, and also destroys his home. Matt doesn't understand why everything has all of a sudden come crashing down, but he realizes it's Kingpin due to his arrogance. Kingpin's hubris meant that he had to leave a calling card so that Matt knew it was him all along, and this sets him off on a quest for revenge. In the comics, Matt ended up fighting a guy called Nuke, and on top of this, he also took down the Kingpin. Now this was a big comic at the time because this was an age where the villains in public never found out a superhero's secret identity. And now that the MCU has kinda scrapped that in favour of just revealing everyone's, but when they're these kind of heroes, it means way more. Tony Stark is a billionaire, so it doesn't matter if people know he's Iron Man, but for characters like Daredevil and Spider-Man, it renders them unable to have a normal life. Now, though I absolutely love the book and think it's near perfect, the Nuke storyline was always pretty bad to me, and I kinda hope that they swap the character out with someone else. If you cast your mind back to the ending of Daredevil Season 3, then you'll remember that Bullseye ended up surviving the series, and I think it would be great to get Poindexter back. If Kingpin is blind, it also gives us a lot of crap pun opportunities to have someone in the show called Bullseye, and he's probably also my second favourite Daredevil villain. I just think there's something so cool about someone who can turn anything into a weapon and use it in a way to kill people with pinpoint accuracy, and it would be a great test for Matt Murdock once more. Now, on top of this, I hope we see Deborah Ann will return as Karen Page, with Eldon Henson also coming back as Foggy. The pair really added a lot of heart to the original series, and with the two main leads coming back, it makes sense to bring them across too. This could also be used as a way to pull across the Defenders, and who knows, we might even get cameos from Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and yes, even you, Iron Fist. Now, if you cast your mind back to the release of The Matrix Resurrections, then you might remember that Jessica Henwick revealed she didn't want to star in Shang-Chi because she had hopes Colleen Wing could return. I'd love it if she got to come back too, as she's by far the best part of that series, and Henwick has also made a big name for herself now. So everyone could come back, but we could also get some upgrades too. This includes costumes, and in the brand new She-Hulk trailer, we ended with an appearance from Daredevil confirming that he's gonna be in the show. My guess is that it's just a cameo role, but that he will help to set up the events of Echo before he gets his main series. Now, if you slow down the footage of him jumping, you can see that his costume has yellow elements to it. This pulls directly from the comics, and in those he did have a yellow leotard at points, which was based on a boxing outfit. I always thought this would look goofy in live action, but that's some of a bitch Kevin Feige, he's pulled it off, and it looks great from the small flashes we get. They haven't gone too over the top with it, and it still retains a lot of the elements from Netflix, but it also has these things that make it more akin to the comics, which I rate Marvel for doing. Anyway, that's everything we know so far, our theories, and also what you need to know about the comic books, so you've got a bit more of an idea of what to expect in the show. Born Again is a brilliant book, and the creative team have a lot resting on their shoulders with this. My big hopes are that they don't neuter it for Disney+, and that they lean into the darker elements of it. The audience that grew up with the MCU are getting older now too, so having this be as mature as the source material would be great for the series, at least I think. Anyway, that's your lot, and obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so make sure you comment below and let me know. We're running a competition right now and giving away 3 copies of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on the 15th of August, and all you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the series. We pick the comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the full event, which will be linked on screen right now. We talk about all the upcoming movies, what you need to know about them, and also what our most anticipated one is. I know I've already said it's Daredevil, but just pretend I didn't and go over and watch that. With that out of the way, thanks for sticking through the video. I've been Paul, I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.